Hi there, it's Will Rowland here, 23rd of October 2023, and press subscribe if you'd like to hear more testimonies from people whose God has changed their life, and Jesus has changed their life. And what I am doing today is, which I might do quite a lot, is I'm going to be reading from the Voice magazine, which this is the magazine which comes from the FGB MFI, and if you look there is in the middle is the website office@fgbmfi.org.uk. If you want to know more about that organisation, it's the Full Gospel Christian Businessman Fellowship. Started out as a group of businessmen, it still is. They meet up all over the world, different fellowships, and this magazine is testimonies of how God has worked in these men's lives. And so I've decided to do this one here, Stuart Braye, the paraplegic Olympic medal winner. This is the first one I'm going to do. So I'm just going to read it. The best discovery of my life. How an athlete has found peace despite a serious road crash and family sickness. By Stuart Braye, paraplegic Olympic medal winner. I've always loved sport, but my life nearly ended at the age of 27 in a road crash which completely crushed my right leg. In hospital in 1985, my leg was amputated below the knee. What followed was a decade of ups and downs as I struggled badly to cope with life as a disabled person. Physically, however, I did well. I was quickly lifting weights and getting into athletics with other amputees. By 1991, I was the fourth fastest below knee amputee in the world, and the fastest European over 100, 200 and 400 metres. See picture right. In 1992, I won a bronze medal in the 400 metres at the Barcelona Paralympic Games. By then I had gained a master's degree in sports management and a secure job working in sports development. My family was great, and my wife Marion and I had a really nice house. I seemed to have everything, but inside I was a total mess. I was depressed, lonely, unhappy and unloving, not scoring very highly as a husband or dad and not liking myself very much. But a wonderful change was very near. It came in a very unlikely way soon after the shock of hearing that my brother Charles was diagnosed. Turn over the page. With cancer in 1996. He was a convinced Christian and remained peaceful and grateful for his life, but I was really a mess. We weren't born into a Christian family. We never had prayers, Bible stories or church attendance. It was a normal family, and in my early years I joined the army. In my final year in the forces, I was attached to the Special Air Service in the 264 SAS Signal Squadron. During that time, Charles and his family had become Christians. One evening in 1981, I was bragging to Charles about how fit I was, and he was telling me about Jesus. Charles has said to me that the only way to get to heaven was to ask Jesus to come into your life. I told him I'd do that just before I die, but I forgot about it all until that fateful moment in March 1985, when on a busy road, the brakes failed on a lorry I was driving. In a split second I thought, this is it, I'm dead. Now, years later, after my first visit to see my sick brother, I suddenly remembered what Charles had said to me long ago. To become a Christian, you simply ask Jesus into your life. So that evening, that is what I did. Quietly but audibly, I woke up the next day feeling a totally different person. My wife Marion says that I was unrecognisable. Once I was like a cross between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rambo. Now I was a cross between John the Baptist and Cliff Richard. It was very hard to describe the huge change in me. Now in my heart I knew God. I knew I was forgiven for my sins. I knew Jesus and I was filled with the Holy Spirit. I was a new person. I was still me, but a much better me. I felt God tell me not to worry about my family or say too much. A year after this, Marion became a Christian too. Then our boys, then aged 11 and 13, made their first commitment. They are strong Christians today. Mike is a worship leader and Andy a preacher. I can honestly say that God has never let us down. Marion has survived breast cancer. Andy survived a tour in Iraq with the parachute regiment. I now work as a senior lecturer in sports sociology at Teesside University. Life has been tough at times, but the last 16 years with Jesus have been the best. When things seem to go wrong, Jesus just gets closer. I hope you do as I did and ask Jesus to come into your life. You won't regret it. Stuart Braye can be contacted via email at stuartbraye@aol.com. So there we go. There's my first testimony I've read, someone else's testimony, and I hope it's a blessing to people. Over and out.